I want to introduce my guest, Jitin Chawla. He's an eminent career counselor with me in the studios right here in Delhi. Kiran Migada joins us. She's a TIT NRI member, joining us from Hyderabad. We also have Gautam. He's a career counselor, an educational counselor, and a BISA founder. And we also have Ms. Sudhindra, MS Sudhindra. I apologize. He's an IT expert. Thank you very much for joining us, gentlemen. Let's begin with you, Jatin. Yeah. Isn't this good news? This is music to the ears.
Yes, definitely yes.
Yeah. What are the caveats?
Though yes, if I look at the, I would say I'll call it the technology sector.
Yeah. I'm only talking about IT.
Yes, of course. So if I speak of IT, like there has been action and it has been happening, it has been building up.
Yeah.
So people like us have been talking of data analytics, data sciences, though the issue is not of jobs. Actually here the issue is of preparedness of candidates who are industry ready.
So are our universities doing that?
Not really.
Okay.
So if I look at...
so it's bad enough that these techies are not getting jobs, but the new ones that we are creating are not capable to handle that job.
It's a mismatch.
Yeah.
So you have bodies which kind of govern and help institutes in deciding what syllabi to have. Where change should happen faster, change is happening at a very slow pace. There are top institutes in the country where in-depth knowledge would not be available. Hence the IT company needs to retrain people when they hire them. And that is where the problem is.
Oh, so you're saying unlearning and then learning again?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's say I run a company, like IoT is another area which is really coming up, Internet of Things. So CRM is another area where a lot of recruitment is happening. But the moment I go to a college, I might get this briefly on the surface, but not in depth. I might not get those kind of projects unless a student is very much motivated or unless students are taking up online courses. So when I walk into IITs, I find students by themselves are self-motivated and somehow they are taking up these courses online. They go to other centers. A number of centers are mushroomed outside the, so to say, engineering colleges, who are trying to add value by providing projects as well as training programs. But surprisingly, inside the colleges where it should happen, it's still not happening. And if I look at the entire population of colleges, it will not be wrong to say that maybe top 2% of colleges still have some things, but beyond it, it's a very sad story.
Okay. MS Sudhindra, I want to come to you. A bulk of these jobs, it seems, are being created in Bengaluru. How much of this is an aberration? How much of this is good news, or is this just what has always been happening? I mean, we know that this is the IT capital. We know there has been absolute bloodbath and mayhem. So will you be excited about these numbers, or do you think that this is just a drop in the ocean?
To be honest, being in Bangalore, it definitely excites me that my city is among the best employment generation, has the best employment generation numbers, but then it is just as you rightly said, is a drop in the ocean. I totally agree with the gentleman who just spoke just before me now. It is not the question, the question is not if the companies are ready to take over the technology. The companies is whether the employee graduates or the techies are ready to handle this technology. See, that is most important, that's the bullseye point if you ask me. See, basically, the Indian job landscape is a transitionary phase. You know, thanks to all these new emerging technologies that you just spoke, by 2022, 9% of the country's 600 million estimated workforce would be deployed in a new job that doesn't even exist today, would be deployed in a new technology which doesn't even has which maybe we have not even heard today. So that requires some serious thinking. If you see a FKCI report, there has been they are projected an IT job slowdown over the next 2 years, just because the companies have struggled to restructure their business with respect to the new technology, and it's not that easy. They need to have, Mr. Narayan Murthy of Infosys so famously said, only 3% or some 4% of the engineering produced today can be employed. So that's a question, that's a point where we need to hit. Technologies come, we learn, we gather, and we have to make them ready. But then unless and until our core is ready, it is impossible for us to get on to this emerging market. Numbers are fine, it is just projection, you know, there may be a little bit here and there, but then that is not all.
Okay. Okay, interesting, very interesting point that you made, and a lot of interesting points that have come about from the two people who have spoken. Kiran, I want to come to you. You know, MS Sudhindra and Mr. Jitin are both talking about the employability of people. So there may be jobs, but people are not employable. Now my point is, which university can match the pace of the change in technology? I want to know. See, by the time you train a certain type of people, it's not like workforce that you need for the industrial revolution or you need for the agriculture. Things are changing in the world of IT.
Very fast.
And very fast. So is this not always going to be a consistent problem? Or do you think that the government needs to invest in an institute, an IT institute like IIT to innovate faster?
So government actually started off institutes. So triple ITs were created. So you have triple IT Hyderabad, triple IT Delhi.
So you are saying that they're not moving fast enough?
No, but okay, triple ITs are still doing better than other institutions, but still the numbers will be so few. The triple IT would have maybe depends on place to place, but maybe 100, 200, 300 students.
So MS Sudhindra, the point that he was making, I want to take this question to Kiran. Right? Kiran, the point that MS as well as Jitin are making is about employability, right? Employability of the people who are coming out of these institutes. Do you think we are failing at that point?
You have a very good point. To start with, TITA, our signature event is specifically aimed for that, which is Yuva Nirman. We have trained about 1 lakh students on emerging technologies because we see there's a bridge between what's being taught at the college level or the university level and what the employers are looking at. And our focus is mainly on emerging technologies like cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, RPA, which is robotic process automation, and also digital marketing, or the digital part, which includes mobile app development and much more. And of course, also to take into consideration the data scientists. That's a separate big vertical. So training 1 lakh students is one of our biggest achievement. And apart from that, we have done Digiton, which is making literacy across all the 31 districts of Telangana. And I definitely would like to see that employment numbers grow more than 11% or 13%, which you have shown from the survey. And I think that's where our target is, to bridge the gap and get the students ready for employability in these sectors.
Yeah, I think a lot of stress has to be laid over there because technology is changing, Gautam. Technology is changing. There is definitely now a need for a lot of people to take up jobs as far as those technologies are concerned. However, we are not being able to match the pace of the change of technology. I think that's the discourse. One moment, Gautam. That's the discourse that we are having in the studio. Apart from this, do you think that this is the failing of the government, or do you think that there has to be some amount of onus on the various IT companies to launch these short-term courses, right? You learn a lot of things on the job. For instance, if I were to give you an example, the journalism that is being taught in universities is very different from the journalism that we are practicing right now. So it is not in league or in sync with the reality.
True.
So the onus then now becomes on the companies.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So it's basically you're talking about experiential learning. So what I would say here is, we talk about like reasons here, but I would like to give a solution here, because we are talking about employability skills, but we know that they lack in, because 80% of the students comes from the rural background. But the solution is the industry is coming into the colleges. Let's forget about like colleges going into the industry.